Coming Out Day, a fairy tale of Ebden Bridge. It were best type of weather, best time of year, best time of day without doubt. All flowers were blooming in Bluebell Woods on day our Jane came out. At a pantomime she felt rapture and joy, but this memory our Jane had suppressed when she'd fallen for Principal Boy, although she was sure he had breasts. Later on we had other thrills. We used to rush out to watch flames, when mill owners burnt down us mills to fiddle insurance claims. But then a woman had opened a shop with books of a Sapphic persuasion. Our Jane just went out for a mop, but she got a romantic liaison. And insect creations made their murmurations. It were first time of year to cast clout, and ramblers were rambling and spring lambs were gambling on day our Jane came out. We were all tucking into us teas when our Jane said, "I've summat to say." As our kid trained his side eyes on me, she stood up and told us, "I'm gay." There were birds celebrating, it were their time for mating. Woodpeckers hammered it out, and swallows were soaring, and rivers stopped roaring on day our Jane came out. Mum went round to Gran's to explain. She could see her mind having to grapple. She said, "A Wesleyan? Our Jane? But it's years since she's been to chapel." But she'd thrown off her stealth, she were being herself, as she walked up to woods without doubt. But near top o' hill she froze statue still on day our Jane came out. She thought tarmac were creeping up road. She couldn't take in situation. But hundreds of nut-brown toads were making their annual migration. But with nature in harmony, she didn't go hopping about. As she carefully stepped, each small creature crept on day our Jane came out. A wolf were down at stepping stones. Mr. B.B. Wolf, to state fully, he were making low lascivious groans. He were mill owner's son and a bully. He said, "What a nice meeting is this? Why, it's fustian cutter's daughter. Give your dad's old employer a kiss. That's my price for you crossing this water." Jane said, "I don't fancy your kiss now you ask, and I don't like your tone when you woo. My lover is holding an axe, and what's more, Mr. Wolf, she's behind you." But that lass she met shopping, whose job were wood chopping, she didn't use her weapon or rout. I hope you'll forgive her. She pushed Wolf in river on day our Jane came out. Well, they walked back down Old Mill Road to Wishingwell in Bluebell Copse, when up hopped a frog and up hopped a toad. It were Wishingwell equal hops. They said, 'cause none o' toads had got squished, Jane were granted 3 wishes she wished. She said, a sweetheart to marry me, though she thought that could never be. And Ebden, best small market town, let's be, and capital at north. Ms. Toad asked Mr. Frog to read it all back from his log. He said, "A sweetheart will marry thee," rivet, "and Ebden best small market town shall be," rivet, and lesbian capital at North. Rivet. Well, though that third wish weren't as she intended, happen she were glad it weren't amended. 'Cause that's how it's all come about, since day our Jane came out. Rivet. Thank you.